From Apple Valley News Now, First Alert Weather with Chief Meteorologist Josh Colberth.
Good Wednesday morning. I'm First Alert Chief Meteorologist Josh Colberth. Right now, you're taking a live look at the Columbia River. It is a little bit hazy up in the sky, but it's pretty light haze. We're not going to get inundated with smoke today. It's going to be pretty similar in comparison to yesterday. This morning's temperatures are pretty similar to yesterday in terms of what we were feeling like just yesterday morning, with 50s and 60s. 50s and 60s for the Kittitas and Yakima valleys, also 50s and 60s for the lower Columbia Basin, and we're seeing just exclusively 60s right now for the foothills of the Blue Mountains. A little bit later today, it will be just a smidge hotter compared to yesterday, but we're still going to be pretty tethered to average. We do have a small chance for a thunderstorm today. That's going to prompt a red flag warning for southern portions of Umatilla and Morrow counties. We are expecting a cool down as we head into the next couple days, something to look forward to. Something to not look forward to, though, is again the haze and the smoke, and I'll show you what all of these fires are doing to our air quality for this morning, and that's going to be coming up on Good Morning Northwest, which starts right now.
Coming up on Good Morning Northwest, the retreat fire near Natchez is threatening homes and infrastructure. We have the latest you need to know about.
And for those planning to watch the races and the air show and waterfallies this weekend, you'll need to navigate construction work in Pasco. We'll break it down for you coming up right now.
This is Apple Valley News Now. Good Morning Northwest, on your side.
Good morning, everyone, and thank you for joining us for Good Morning Northwest. I'm Jessica Jalal.
And I'm Jill Sperling. It is Wednesday, July 24th.
Welcome back, Jill.
Thank you so much.
Did you have a good vacation?
I did. I was off in Canada celebrating my parents' 40th wedding anniversary.
How exciting. You had a good time? They had a good time?
I had a really good time. Unfortunately, it was very smoky over there.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's been super smoky here, but
a little bit. We've had a lot
bad.
of fires. We're going to start talking about those right now. So level 3 evacuations are affecting the Natchez area.
State fire assistance has been brought in for the retreat fire, which is threatening homes, power infrastructure, and cultural areas in Yakima County near Natchez. The fire first started around 3:45 yesterday afternoon and has grown to at least 1,500 acres, according to the Natchez Fire Department.
As mentioned earlier, level 3 go now evacuations have been ordered. One of the areas being evacuated is Camp Gormley, a children's summer camp. The kids attending that camp were taken to Natchez Valley School District Elementary School. That was last night. The cause of the fire is under investigation. At last check, mutual aid units were being released along with some Natchez fire units around 11 p.m. last night.
Meantime, another fire northwest of Natchez has burned through 6,500 acres of land. State resources have been mobilized to fight the Black Canyon fire.
Now, this fire started Monday afternoon in the Weenass Valley, threatening multiple structures and prompting evacuations for nearby homes. The Red Cross has set up an emergency shelter at the Sela Civic Center, and resources, including helicopters, have come in from across the state.
This is an area that has seen frequent fire activity. Both the Evans Canyon fire and the Cow Canyon fire had similar footprints.
Coming up later this morning, we'll hear from firefighters about the challenges they're facing in fighting this fire.
And the American Red Cross opened up an emergency evacuation center yesterday in response to the Black Canyon fire. We just told you about this. Again, the evacuation center is at the Sela Civic Center at 216 South 1st Street in Yakima. Assistance available at the shelter can include food, cots, and other urgent needs.
Turning now to the latest on the Battle Mountain fire burning in Umatilla County. On Monday, the Snake Fire emerged with the Monkey Creek fire in the North Fork John Day River corridor. That 48,000-acre fire is now called the Monkey Creek Fire, but it's still a part of the overall Battle Mountain fire. The river corridor is especially windy in a fire situation, complicated by high temperatures, steep terrain, and low visibility. Overnight on Monday, crews continued to line and mop up on the northeast corner of the fire. In the south end, where the fire is most active, firefighters are using defensive fire tactics by burning vegetation up to the dozer lines to try to head off the fire. Dozer lines have proven to be effective, and crews continued to work on those yesterday.
We are still fighting fire in every aspect of firefighting. We do have some fires up here in Division Alpha where we're actually mopping up. We did have a spot fire yesterday in the Camas Creek drainage. We actually caught it at about 20 acres. Things were looking pretty good there.
Parts of Interstate 84 in eastern Oregon are now closed due to the Durkee fire. According to ODOT, I-84 eastbound is closed from Pendleton at exit 216 to Baker City at exit 302. ODOT says I-84 is also closed in both directions between Baker City at exit 302 to Ontario at exit 374.
This is because of the Durkee fire burning near Farewell Bend and between Baker City and Haines. You can find the latest road closures on Oregon's DOT's tripcheck.com.
And we're looking ahead to the water follies, and for those in Pasco planning to watch the races and the air show, you're going to need to navigate around some construction work. Alyssa Warner has what you'll need to know.
If you're planning to watch the water follies from the Pasco side of the river, there is some general admission parking available, but street parking on West Sylvester is not an option this year. Instead, you'll want to follow the official water follies parking signs off Sylvester Street because, as you can see, this is still a construction zone. Work got underway in April and is expected to continue until September. When it's finished, there will be one lane of traffic in each direction, plus a center turning lane and better sidewalks, crosswalks, and bike lanes. For this weekend, if you're planning on parking on the Pasco side, you will want to use the new sidewalk on the north side of West Sylvester Street. Don't drive, park, or even walk on the unfinished area on the south side. That's reserved for people who live on West Sylvester to get in and out of their driveways.
The Pasco Public Facilities District Board is working to bring an aquatic center to Pasco.
In 2022, people in Pasco voted to fund an aquatics facility, increasing the sales tax by 0.02%. The PPFD received a validation report during their meeting last night and approved the $37 million aquatics facility.
The PPFD board says it intends to allocate funds from the approved sales tax to fund the building and operations. Executive Director Matt Watkins says the Aquatic Center will not only be a place for fun, but it'll also bring top athletes and competitors to the area.
Lazy rivers and slides and ninja courses and party rooms and a lot of things that the Tri-Cities has never seen before, with special emphasis on 60% of the facility is indoor year-round. The Tri-Cities has not had that in an aquatics facility before.
The anticipated groundbreaking for Phase 1 is closer to December, with an opening of the facility in 2026.
Up next on Good Morning Northwest, PFAS or forever chemicals have been found in the everyday food that we eat. When we come back, we take a deeper look at what researchers found.
But first, Chief Meteorologist Josh Colberth will have your weather forecast. Good Morning Northwest will be back in just a moment.
I'm Jared Sessler, a Navy veteran, job creator, candidate for Congress, and I approve this message. It was a great honor to receive President Trump's endorsement, and unlike my opponent Dan Newhouse, who joined Democrats to impeach President Trump, I'll be a strong ally for the MAGA agenda. But an even greater honor would be to earn your support. I took an oath to this country when I began my military service, and I kept it. And I'm asking for your vote so I can take that oath once more and serve in Congress as the conservative we deserve.
Goodwill provides opportunities for those that might have barriers to employment.
Those barriers could be disabilities all the way up to recently incarcerated, and our job is to find a way to give these folks the skills to find gainful employment in the community.
We provide such a wide variety of training. Our ECC organizations can get somebody a job.
The relationships that are built through those programs gives these organizations a long-time employee if they so wish.
Goodwill. Donate, shop, impact locally.
I learned the value of hard work right here in these fields as my immigrant parents picked crops. I graduated from Yakima Valley College and Gonzaga, worked for Congress and the state legislature. Now I'm running for state senate because we need someone who will fight for Central Washington. We're losing good paying jobs and warehouses are closing. I'm Maria Beltran, and I ask for your vote because our best days are ahead of us.
Paid for by friends Maria Beltran.
A lot is changing in our community right now. New roads, new schools, and new opportunities. We're growing, and that means there are more cars on our streets than ever before. That's why we're expanding our facilities and services. So no matter what roads lie ahead, you'll always find your way home.
Find your way home in a new 2024 Chevy Silverado with financing as low as 1.9% from McCurley Chevrolet.
Summer is here, and it's the best time of year to get a new zero-turn mower from Husqvarna. Husqvarna Zero Turns can tackle any job with commercial quality and professional performance. Wide cutting decks, high cutting speeds, and durable construction are great reasons to choose Husqvarna. But there's more. Now we're offering new warranties up to 5 years and low monthly payment financing that makes choosing a Husqvarna Zero-Turn mower better than ever. Visit Liberty Lawn and Saw in West Richland or online at libertylawnandsaw.com.
Good Morning Northwest streams all day at AppleValleyNewsNow.com and our mobile apps. From Apple Valley News Now, First Alert Weather with Chief Meteorologist Josh Colbert.
Welcome back to Good Morning Northwest. We still have an air quality alert in place. It's technically an air quality advisory if you want to get real technical with it, but that is in place for Morrow County and Umatilla County. It runs until further notice. So whenever the Oregon DEQ decides to lift this, we'll let you know. And air quality this morning is already pretty tough. We're seeing some air quality that is unhealthy for sensitive groups and just straight up unhealthy for portions, mainly southern and eastern portions of Morrow County and Umatilla County. So if you're in these areas, especially if you're in one of those sensitive groups, be sure to sport the N95 mask as you're headed out the front door for this morning. And let's go ahead and show you what happens to the smoke over the next couple of days with our smoke forecast model. This is lunchtime. The smoke essentially in the same place that it is now, but we start to get more winds out of the west, and there's going to be this northwest to southwest kind of flow all throughout the day within our region, which means that a lot of this haze is going to be pretty light and spread out for most of us. And then into tomorrow, looks like the cycle in all likelihood is probably going to be the same, if not just slightly different, because we'll have more of a northerly component to our winds. So I think a lot of that thicker smoke maybe could go down beneath Morrow and Umatilla counties. We'll have to see, because smoke modeling is still relatively a pretty new science, and it can certainly be pretty finicky. Here's your hour by hour for today. Temperatures up into the mid-90s in the Tri-Cities, seasonal, and I'll show you if we can expect more of this as we head into the weekend. That's going to be coming up in a few minutes.
Thank you, Josh. In your health headlines, colorectal cancer is a leading cause of cancer death in the U.S., but experts are saying many can be prevented through screening tests. However, traditional methods aren't always popular with patients because of their invasiveness. In today's Health Minute, Mandy Gaither has more on a new study which looked into whether a newer at-home test is effective in detecting colorectal cancer.
When it comes to colorectal cancer, there are several tests used for screening. Which one to choose depends on the patient.
The best test is the one that gets done and done well.
Dr. Chaik Dalbany with the Ohio State University Wexner Medical Center is lead author of a study which looked at whether the fecal immunochemical test, or FIT, is effective in detecting hidden blood in the stool, which can be an early sign of cancer. The FIT test is ideal for some because it's done at home, completed with one stool sample. There's no prep, no special diets or medicine, and it's inexpensive. But does it work?
So this study basically confirms that it is effective. First of all, estimates are around 33% effectiveness in reducing death from colorectal cancer. But also more importantly, it's effective across racial and ethnic groups that were studied, i.e. Black people, white people, and Asian people.
The researchers say it was especially effective at detecting cancer in the left colon and in the rectum. Dalbany says the test wasn't as effective for the right side, which is where the colon begins.
Almost all of the tests we use for colon cancer screening are perhaps slightly less effective on that side because it's harder to reach.
If the FIT test is positive for hidden blood, Dalbany says it's critical to immediately follow up with a colonoscopy. For Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
The doctor says the FIT test is simple, but the instructions need to be followed, and patients who have questions on how to complete it should talk to their doctors. Forever chemicals, or PFAS, are estimated to be in the blood of 98% of Americans, and now researchers say they found another reason why they're so prevalent in our system. PFAS are known as forever chemicals because of how long they stay in the human body. They have now been found in the everyday food that we eat. A new study looked at how much of the chemical is in pesticides used in agriculture. Researchers found that apples, corn, kale, spinach, strawberries, and wheat are frequently sprayed with PFAS containing pesticides. And they say those pesticides are applied to tens of millions of farm fields across the U.S. The study says PFAS pesticides are also used in insect-killing sprays in homes and flea treatments for pets. PFAS, which are hormone-disrupting chemicals, are intentionally added to products to improve their ability to eliminate pests. The study was published Wednesday in the journal Environmental Health Perspectives. In more health news, a new study finds there may be a link between predicting dementia risk and predicting depression. In December, scientists announced a 21-point brain care score, which assesses dementia or stroke risk without medical procedures. The score helps patients and doctors identify beneficial lifestyle changes. But the study's authors say the score could also predict the odds of developing depression later in life. The score refers to how a person fares on 12 health-related factors, including physical, lifestyle, and social-emotional. The higher the score, the lower risk of brain disease and depression. The authors say up to 1/3 or more of people older than 60 experience late-life depression. This study was published Tuesday in the journal Frontiers in Psychiatry. Up next on Good Morning Northwest, the ongoing airline crisis after the global power outage is estimated to involve more than 500,000 passengers. But experts are giving those that are dealing with this advice on what to do. We'll have that in your consumer news when we come back.
Tiffany Smiley is not who she says she is.
Tiffany Smiley started a PAC claiming to raise money to support conservative candidates, but contributions were funneled to pay off her own $1 million campaign debt.
Of the almost $800,000 she raised, only $24,800 went to candidates. Instead, Tiffany used the money on luxury travel and to try to pay off her massive debt.
Tiffany Smiley deceived her donors. Don't let her deceive you.
I'm Dan Newhouse, and I approve this message.
From Apple Valley News Now, this is Apple Valley Eats.
All right, so my job here is the food and beverage executive chef. I've been here 10 years. Started off here as an entry-level cook. I was given the opportunity to step into the executive chef role, which is the position that I'm in. I've been in that position for about 6 years now, almost. What I do here, I handle not so much the day-to-day operations, but everything that goes into the menu planning, the SOPs for all of the cooks, recipes, ensuring all the recipes are all the same, the consistency, the vision of the food and beverage department as far as the aesthetics, what is it going to look like, what does the food preparation look like. We have everything from catering, fast food, employee meals, which is a cafeteria style setting, and then obviously our bread and butter, what we do, a buffet here at Legends. What we like to do here is try to keep our team members happy, try to be versatile with them, try to be flexible, whatever needs that they may have. We try to accommodate. We do have childcare here on property, so if somebody needs to drop their kids off at childcare, that option's always there. You could come into our department with no experience at all, but we're gonna show you how to hold a knife, we're gonna show you how to cut vegetables, we're gonna show you how to cut meat, we're gonna show you how to use all the equipment. Is the comfort of knowing that I'm gonna have my consistent 40 hours a week. And that goes from everywhere from a dishwasher all the way up to my position. It's another benefit of working here at Legends. I like to think of it more as a career rather than a job.
Meet Fatbeam Fiber, the fastest growing fiber provider in the West. With over 150,000 fiber miles across 150 cities and 8 states, we offer reliable internet and top-tier service to business, government, healthcare, education, and residential customers. From dedicated internet access to wireless backup, our team ensures 99.99% uptime and superior connectivity. Trust Fatbeam Fiber to expand network capabilities and protect your data. Discover more and request a quote at fatbeamfiber.com.
Round 3 voting is now open in Apple Valley News Now's Restaurant Showdown.
Welcome back to Good Morning Northwest. In consumer news, officials are estimating that the ongoing Delta meltdown involves more than 500,000 passengers, and that's not counting earlier issues with the other carriers. However, experts have advice on what to do if you've been or think you might become caught up in the mess. First is to recognize this situation is ongoing. Delta says operations might not be back to normal until the end of the week. Second is to save receipts. Delta says it will reimburse hotel, meal, and ground transportation expenses for long delays and cancellations. Other airlines have similar policies, and travel insurance or some credit card protections might cover additional items. For unused airfare, passengers can get refunds in cases of cancellations or significant delays. Number 3 is to contact the Department of Transportation if airlines violate federal rules. In more consumer news now, an AT&T outage from back in February shows thousands of emergency calls were blocked. A federal investigation revealed the impact of the technical error that knocked out the calling services network. According to a new Federal Communications Commission report, at least 25,000 emergency calls were blocked during the glitch. The cellular outage was caused after AT&T implemented a network change, causing the entire network to enter protect mode. It took the company 2 hours to roll back the network change and at least 12 hours to fully restore service. The FCC said the nationwide outage blocked more than 92 million calls. Calling and mobile data services were disrupted for 125 million devices, and AT&T said it has made changes to prevent February's incident from happening again. Also, Tesla is facing a rough road. The electric car manufacturer saw year-over-year profits plunge 40% in the last quarter. Much of that is because Elon Musk's company is getting hit from two sides. First, sales growth is slowing in the overall EV market as it matures. Second, Tesla is facing mounting competition from established automakers in the sector. And the company also issued new guidance warning growth in 2024 may be notably lower than last year's. Investors don't seem overly worried, though. Tesla shares only fell 4% in after-hours trading, and part of that may be due to optimism around Tesla's planned diversification into driverless taxis and robotics for manufacturing. And this marks the second straight quarter of declining sales at Tesla. Up next on Good Morning Northwest, Snoop D-O-double-G is heading to the Olympics. And if you've seen his narration for a Planet Earth documentary, then you're going to love this next story. We'll tell you all about it when we come back.
Visit us at our new urban wine bar in historic downtown Kennewick. Choose from a variety of wines and food from our expanded menu. Enjoy time with friends old and new. After hours with riverfront views from our shaded patio, we are Murray Gaston Wine Bar.
I learned the value of hard work right here in these fields as my immigrant parents pick crops. I graduated from Yakima Valley College and Gonzaga, worked for Congress and the state legislature. Now I'm running for state senate because we need someone who will fight for Central Washington. We're losing good paying jobs and warehouses are closing. I'm Maria Beltran, and I ask for your vote because our best days are ahead of us.
Paid for by friends Maria Beltran.
You're all looking for something new.
New?
At US Cellular, new and current customers can get the new Samsung Galaxy Z Flip 6 or Z Fold 6 on us.
I usually just try out a new look, but that sounds lit.
I heard their cameras have new Galaxy AI features.
Have what?
Galaxy AI.
Gonna get one now.
I'm fine.
New and current customers get the new Samsung Galaxy Z Flip 6 or Z Fold 6 on us. US Cellular, built for us.
Hey, Tri-Cities. It's Eric the Peanut Guy with your Tri-City Dust Devils. We're celebrating Boat Race Weekend by playing as the Columbia River Rooster Tails. On Friday, July 26th, the first 500 fans receive a Rooster Tails beach towel. And it's also family feast night with $2 hot dogs, soft drinks, and more, all thanks to Gisa Credit Union. Saturday, there'll be a post-game fireworks show thanks to Pro-Made Homes. Visit the official ticket site at DustDevilsBaseball.com. Dust Devils Baseball. It will blow you away.
And now for something totally different. Hi, it's Carrie Isaacson, and I'm running for the Senate seat from the 16th District. I'm standing up for our way of life in this part of Southeast Washington, in our towns, suburbs, and farms. Ballots are due August 6th. You were sent one. Use it. Please vote for me. Visit my website at electcarrieIsaacson.com. Thanks.
Paid for by Elect Carrie Isaacson, Democrat.
Millionaire is back with 2 stars in the hot seat.
I might die.
Wait, what?
Let's just leave with $100.
I'm out. Which one of you is smarter?
It would be me.
An all-new Who Wants to Be a Millionaire tonight on ABC.
Operation Best Friend on Good Morning Northwest, sponsored by Windermere Group 1.
From Apple Valley News Now, First Alert Weather with Chief Meteorologist Josh Colbreth.
Welcome back to Good Morning Northwest. You know, most of us are going to stay dry for today, but there is a little chance of some showers and thunderstorms. We'll go ahead and show you that with Futurecast. We put this in motion. This is lunchtime, starting to see some clouds building in from the south and then especially into the late afternoon to early evening. This model is picking up on thunderstorms just outside of the Blue Mountains, but there are other models that are suggesting that these thunderstorms will actually be over the Blue Mountains in our viewing area. So if that comes to fruition, then there's going to be the chance for lightning over some very dry fuels, which is why we have a red flag warning in place for southern portions of Morrow County, also southern and eastern portions of Umatilla County. This runs from noon today to 11 p.m. for tonight. So for today, it's going to end up being another seasonal day, maybe just a smidge hotter compared to yesterday, but not by much. Most of us will end up in the 90s, and also there's going to continue to be light haze for most spots, although the worst of the worst air quality is going to be immediately downwind of those fires in Morrow and Umatilla counties. By the way, winds today gusting out of the northwest to southwest between 20 to 40 miles per hour, the fastest wind gust being in the Kittitas Valley. For tonight, the wind situation will stay the same. Overnight lows dropping into the 50s and 60s, more light haze for most spots. Look at this, finally some sub-seasonal temperatures into Thursday and Friday. It's not fall, but it's, you know, we can dream. It's something, but then we'll be back up to more seasonal values by the time we get to this weekend. We're also tracking more thunderstorm chances, especially in Monday and Tuesday. We're keeping a very close eye on that as our fuels are still going to be pretty dry by then. Here's the 7-day forecast for the Tri-Cities. Will be near 100 for today, low to mid 80s for Thursday and Friday, and then seasonal this weekend. For Yakima, we'll have nice heat relief for the next couple of days, back into the low 90s by this weekend, and small thunderstorm chances for Monday and Tuesday. For Hermiston, we'll have light haze for the next couple of days, at least 80s for Thursday and Friday, low to mid 90s for Saturday and beyond. And then for Walla Walla, hazy for the next 48 hours, at least 80s for Thursday and beyond. And hopefully this cooler weather in the foothills and mountains will help out with all the firefighting efforts.
Thank you, Josh. In entertainment news now, in Paris, France, rapper Snoop D-O-double-G is gearing up for his Summer Olympics debut.
Yes, as torchbearer, he will carry the Olympic flame to its final stop in the town of Saint-Denis before reaching the Eiffel Tower.
Snoop Dogg is also slated to report on the games as part of Olympic primetime coverage, surely bringing his own flavor to the mix.
On the social media platform X, the rapper posted a photo of himself with the caption, quote, "You ready? Paris 2024 Olympics, you dig?" The opening ceremony of the games is set for Friday.
Can you say that again? Just kidding, Josh. You dig. You dig. Oh, have you guys seen his Planet Earth documentary narration? It is the funniest thing.
I'm sure.
It's like a lizard, you know, being chased by some sort of predator, and he's just narrating the entire thing. It's hilarious. So this will be exciting to see.
I'm sure it'll be entertaining.
I one time saw a tweet, and it said something to the effect that Snoop Dogg is like, he's that video game character where you're done with the game and you're just doing side quests.
Oh, yeah.
That's him at
that
this
describes him perfectly. It's hilarious. Well, coming up next on Good Morning Northwest at 5:30, police officers are trying to help bridge the gap between them and the youth. This by launching a new program. We'll tell you all about the new program in just a few minutes.
Plus, the Washington office of the Secretary of State is working to curb misinformation about voting by mail. We've got the story coming up at 5:30, but first, here are your Tech Bites.
In today's Tech Bites, Apple's first foldable iPhone could arrive in 2026. Sources say the device, nicknamed V68, is now in development with suppliers. Reports say they have moved beyond the concept stage, settling on a design similar to Samsung's Galaxy Z Flip. Amazon Prime Video is getting a major makeover. The new interface, rolling out globally, will show what is included with your Prime membership and what costs extra. Amazon says this update addresses long-standing user frustrations and enhances personalization with generative AI. Finally, Meta's AI assistant now speaks 7 new languages and is available in 22 countries. Users can now access Meta AI on WhatsApp, Instagram, Messenger, and Facebook, and a new feature allows users to create digital avatars of users based on text prompts and photos. Those are your Tech Bites. Have a great day.
I'm a bee, and I bumbled my way into your car.
Buzz.
But this hive isn't big enough for the both of us. Boo!
Oh, wow, what a buzzkill. And if you don't have the right auto insurance coverage,
paying for this could really sting. So get Allstate, save money, and be protected from mayhem, like me.
Hold it.
At a gym,
Hold it.
women hold the squat pose.
Hard time holding it? Well, Always Discreet absorbs up to a cupful with up to 0 wet feel and odor. So I'm not just dry, I'm jump squats level dry. We've got you always. Always Discreet.
Your shipping manager left to find themselves, leaving you lost. You need to hire.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. Indeed Instant Match instantly delivers quality candidates matching your job description. Visit Indeed.com/hire.
This is Apple Valley News Now. Good morning, Northwest, on your side.
Good morning, everyone, and thank you for joining us for Good Morning Northwest. I'm Jessica Jalal.
I'm Jill Sperling.
And I'm Josh Colbert.
Jill, welcome back.
Thank you so much.
You were in Canada, right?
I was in Saskatchewan celebrating the anniversary of my parents' 40 years.
How exciting. Congrats to them.
Thank you.
Do they have a secret, or what is their secret?
They
didn't say?
Patience,
Oh, okay.
Probably. I didn't ask, but probably patience.
Was it warm up there?
It was very hot, very humid feeling, which is kind of strange for this time of year, but also very smoky. And I know we've been dealing with fires of our own over here. Did we see a lot of smoke over the last few days?
It was really bad on Sunday. It's not as bad right now, but that could all change with the addition of another fire, with the switch up of the winds. So it's just something we're going to have to take in stride. We are seeing some pretty smoky skies right now in Yakima, this view coming atop of Tannum Ridge. And I have a feeling that most of this is probably coming from that new Retreat and Rimrock fire, but who knows, some of this might be coming from the Black Canyon fire as well. So we'll continue to keep tabs on air quality throughout the rest of this morning. But now on to temperatures, as they are feeling pretty comfortable out there. I think most of us will probably need a light jacket, 50s and 60s. You can see that for the Kittitas and Yakima Valleys. The same thing for the lower Columbia Basin. And the foothills of the Blues are actually a little bit warmer this morning with some 60s. Here's your CoCast for today for the Tri-Cities. And again, early this morning, you might need a light jacket, but by 8 this morning, it's already going to be around 70, and then we'll end up in the mid-90s, which is pretty seasonal for the Tri-Cities. But unfortunately, we do have a little chance for lightning today, not in the Tri-Cities, but to our south and to our east in southern portions of Morrow and Umatilla counties. So with the chance of lightning over very dry fuels, there is that threat for fire starts, and I'll show you just how dry our fuels are actually going to be for today. That's going to be coming up in a few minutes.
Thank you, Josh. The city of Zillah has announced interim fire chief Rick Holden has decided to step down from his paid position. He says he felt overwhelmed by the demands and stress of the role.
Holden has served as the deputy chief since May 21st. The department wants to encourage anybody interested in serving as a volunteer firefighter to contact them. Reminder that Zillah's fire and emergency response relies entirely on volunteers. The Richland Police Department is launching a new program in an effort to not only get to know members of the community, but help bridge the gap between youth and police.
For the summer program, Kicking It with the Cops, the Richland Police Department has already hit the streets. RPD bought more than 24 footballs and soccer balls for officers to throw or kick around with the kids.
How fun, and the department says this is more than just a game of catch. It's about connection and letting kids know there's someone they can turn to if they need help.
Had to practice. For the adults, they see that we're talking with kids, maybe their own kids, and so that usually goes over really well. For the kids themselves to be able to approach us, you know, hey, they gave me a ball last week. I feel like I can go talk to them about this issue that's going on or that I saw maybe in the park. I think that's where we're looking for that benefit. Just make it easier for people to interact and communicate with us.
And the kids get to keep the balls they're given. The police department hopes to continue to do outreach programs like this going throughout the year. In just under 2 weeks on August 6th, not only will it be the August primary, but it's also National Night Out.
This event gives local law enforcement a chance to reach out to people in their communities. The Richland Police Department has the chance to reach the youth in our community after a local business donated 20 bicycles to be raffled off at the local event.
National Night Out is August 6th, and really one of the big premises behind National Night Out is about a community involvement. And National Night is about getting to know your neighbors, getting to know your community. Communities and neighborhoods that know each other are safer communities, and having these bikes is just such a magnificent way for many that will receive this. And so these will definitely make memories. We just thank you so much for not only supporting the community, but supporting National Night Out too, so thank you.
The bikes were donated by Hayden Homes LLC for National Night Out.
The U.S. Appropriations Committee has announced $4.6 million in funding for healthcare systems in our state.
Washington Senator Patty Murray made the announcement as the chair of the committee. The funding is part of the Hospital Preparedness Program, which helps local healthcare respond to large-scale emergencies and disasters.
And the Washington office of the Secretary of State is working to curb misinformation about voting by mail. The Secretary of State is hoping to highlight the safety and security of our vote by mail process ahead of the August primary and the general election in November.
Washington has had successful voting by mail for over a decade. The campaign wants to get the message out about how vote by mail works and encourage voter participation.
In political news now, the Trump campaign says the money that President Joe Biden raised for his re-election campaign should not transfer to now Democratic presidential candidate Kamala Harris.
They are taking the matter up with the Federal Election Commission. An official with the Trump campaign filed a complaint with the regulatory agency yesterday, arguing against transferring the $91 million raised for Biden. They say if the money is given to Harris, it would be the biggest violation in the history of the Federal Election Campaign Act of 1971. But according to some campaign finance experts, Harris could use the money because it's registered for both the president and vice president. A spokesperson for the FEC refused to comment on the matter, citing the agency's policy on not discussing enforcement issues. In some more community news, Apple Valley News Now's Restaurant Showdown is still going on. We're looking for the area's best restaurant. So we started about 2 weeks ago with 64 places. Now, after 2 rounds and thousands of votes, only 16 restaurants remain.
Ooh, so let's keep it going until we find that #1 restaurant. So to make your vote known, scan the QR code on your screen to vote with your smartphone, or you can visit our website, applevalleynewsnow.com, click on contests, and then select Restaurant Showdown to vote.
And don't forget, after voting, you can enter to win a $25 gift card from STCU. You can find more information at applevalleynewsnow.com. Up next on Good Morning Northwest, we've been dealing with the troubles that come from wildfire season, and Eastern Oregonians are dealing with even worse. When we come back, we look at what cattle ranchers in Oregon are saying about this season.
But first, Chief Meteorologist Josh Colbreth will let us know how our weather will be looking for today. Keep it here. We'll be right back.
Stacy Lee, Camp KVUE First Alert Weather. Watch tonight.
At Mattress Depot USA, we're sort of like matchmakers.
We match your body needs and sleeping habits with the perfect mattress for you.
Low prices every day. Mattress Depot USA.
Communist China poses an economic and national security threat to America.
And Dan Newhouse is the leader in Congress fighting for our security.
Dan stood up to Communist China and wrote the bill to stop them from buying up American farms and ranches.
And Dan's working to secure the border and stop the flow of deadly Chinese fentanyl through Mexico and into our communities.
Where Joe Biden fails us, Dan Newhouse fights for us.
I'm Dan Newhouse, and I approve this message to stand up to Communist China and to secure our border.
It's time to get moving with a new car from Overturf Kia. The new 2024 Kia Niro gives you 3 great ways to save fuel. Available with a fuel-efficient gas-electric hybrid, a plug-in hybrid, or as a full electric vehicle. A new 2024 Kia Niro LX gas-electric hybrid starts at just $28,980. Plus, get 4.99% interest for up to 72 months. Overturf Kia at the base of the Blue Bridge in Kennewick.
poor maintenance, old tires, bad brakes, that could be why the big truck hit you. At my law firm, we have a team that knows big truck wrecks. Big truck insurance companies know that we have the knowledge and experience to get you paid everything you deserve. Call the heavy hitter. When I call the insurance companies, they listen. Hit by a big truck, I know how to be their insurance companies. I'm attorney Mariano Morales, the big truck heavy hitter.
The heavy hitter is the one for you. Call 853-2222.
Meet Fat Beam Fiber, the fastest growing fiber provider in the West. With over 150,000 fiber miles across 150 cities and 8 states, we offer reliable internet and top-tier service to business, government, healthcare, education, and residential customers. From dedicated internet access to wireless backup, our team ensures 99.99% uptime and superior connectivity. Trust Fat Beam Fiber to expand network capabilities and protect your data. Discover more and request a quote at fatbeamfiber.com.
Audiologist Jennifer Wright is now caring for patients of all ages at Prosser Ear, Nose, and Throat Center. Her services include audiological evaluations, hearing aid fittings, pediatric testing, cochlear implants, and more. The effects of hearing loss can often be minimized with the correct diagnoses and proper treatment. To schedule an appointment with audiologist Jennifer Wright, call Prosser Ear, Nose, and Throat Center at 509-786-5599 today. This is how we care.
An affordable, adjustable bed from Mattress Depot USA will help you sleep better.
And help alleviate aches and pains, sleep apnea, and snoring.
Low prices every day. Mattress Depot USA.
From Apple Valley News Now, First Alert Weather with Chief Meteorologist Josh Colbreth.
Welcome back to Good Morning Northwest. It is just about as cool as it was for yesterday morning, as we're seeing temperatures that are mostly in the 50s and 60s. 50 for Snoqualmie Pass, 57 for Cle Elum, and then mid-60s for Ellensburg and for Vantage. Down into Yakima County, that is, we're seeing temperatures also in the 50s and 60s, as low as 50, as high as 60. And then in the lower Columbia Basin for Benton and Franklin counties, also, again, 50s and 60s, 55 for Tri-Cities, 60 degrees for Benton. So I'm thinking it's probably light jacket weather for most spots for this morning. It's the same thing for the foothills of the Blues. And as always, a little bit cooler up in some of the higher terrain of the Blues, as we're in the 40s and 50s for Meacham and Ukiah. A little bit later today, it's going to be pretty seasonal. There are some isolated spots that could be a little bit above average, including Tri-Cities, but I think we'll probably end up shy of 100 degrees. Here is today's fire fuel energy in terms of historical percentiles. You'll notice that it is definitely lower compared to yesterday for Kittitas and Yakima counties, only into the 86th percentile, which is still pretty dry. We're also just a little bit. This value is a little bit lower compared to yesterday for the lower Columbia Basin, the 94th percentile as opposed to the 99th percentile. But we're still going to be in the 99th percentile for the Blue Mountains, which is bad news because that's where lightning is in the forecast for today. And I'll time that out with Futurecast coming up in a few minutes.
Thank you, Josh. Keeping with fire news now, people in eastern Oregon are facing troubles that come from the wildfire season, especially those along a major highway.
Fires are worrisome for some ranchers who graze their cattle on open range. Don Nelson has more.
I've never seen a July this hot.
And that's a big problem when a wildfire breaks out in cattle country. Kenny Baines is a rancher in Haines, Oregon, and Baines is a member of the Haines Stampede Rodeo Association. Baines says because this community is always there for their neighbors, they've opened up the fairgrounds as a safe zone for area ranchers.
Most of our members are farmers ranchers, so we have a heart for that anyways. But yes, it's anytime we can help anybody with anything like that, we're open for it.
We just have to have a place somewhere to go with these cattle.
Matt McGilligan, the president of the Oregon Cattlemen's Association, agreed to meet us here, even though he's in the process of moving his herd away from flames that are coming from all directions.
And the 6 biggest ones are in eastern Oregon. It's over 600,000 acres. Many of those were human caused.
For McGilligan, who's been ranching his entire life, this is about as bad as he's ever seen.
This is the worst summer. Yeah, I was visiting with my Forest Service ranger yesterday, and he said it's like an apocalypse. There's just fires everywhere. They just keep popping up.
With the weather conditions remaining hot and dry, it's hard to say how long this will last.
Ranchers say they are just hoping for the best. Around the world now, at least 18 people are dead after a small plane crashed while taking off from Nepal's capital, Kathmandu, this morning.
At least one other person was injured in the crash. All 19 people on board were Soraya airline employees, according to Nepal police, and rescue efforts are ongoing. At least 5 workers have died after an explosion at the Jose Cuervo tequila plant in Mexico. The explosion happened in the municipality of Tequila in Jalisco, but officials do not know what caused it.
They have said it involved a tank car which set fire to even more vehicles. The company Casa Cuervo said in a statement it was aiding officials in the investigation, and the mayor has encouraged people not to approach the area. Up next on Good Morning Northwest, state fire assistance has been mobilized to fight the retreat fire burning near Natchez. We have the latest on evacuation levels.
Plus more fires to tell you about. That and more is coming up in your 5 o'clock morning sprint.
Danny was rear-ended by a semi-truck. Serious injuries.
Mariano's reputation and experience gave him an advantage over the insurance company.
Daniel got paid a lot.
He lives up to his reputation, which is somebody who gets results.
Call 853-2222.
Drive into summer with the rugged Honda Ridgeline, Passport, and Pilot. Summer is for exploring, so get outdoors, kick up some dust, get muddy, or just find that perfect campsite. All from Honda, the 2024 Kelley Blue Book's KBB.com Best Value brand. So act now to get an offer you'll love. Buy online, reserve from select dealers, or hurry into the Honda Summer event.
Well, it's almost election time.
Typical politicians trying to tell us they're conservative.
Yeah, well, that's not Congressman Newhouse. He worked with the liberals to try to remove Trump. And don't get me started on that Sessler.
He's not just a vegan.
Sessler wants a 30% tax on everything we buy.
Even my haircut.
Even my beer. He wants 30% if I want to buy new land.
So the choice is a never-Trumper or a vegan.
Tiffany Smiley.
Oh, Smiley's the one.
I really like her.
MWSA Inc. is responsible for the content of this advertising.
Hey, Tri-Cities. It's Eric the Peanut Guy with your Tri-City Dust Devils. We're celebrating Boat Race Weekend by playing as the Columbia River Rooster Tails. On Friday, July 26th, the first 500 fans receive a Rooster Tails beach towel. And it's also Family Feast Night with $2 hot dogs, soft drinks, and more, all thanks to Gisa Credit Union. Saturday, there'll be a post-game fireworks show thanks to Pro-Made Homes. Visit the official ticket site at DustDevilsBaseball.com. Dust Devils Baseball. It will blow you away.
I have worked with Senator Curtis King for the past 2 years, and I know how much he cares about the constituents in his district. He is well respected by both parties. He is results-oriented, and he works very hard for the district.
We got to elect Curtis King. He has a proven record. We're very lucky to have him as a representative in the Senate.
There is no better candidate for the job than Senator Curtis King.
I'm Senator Curtis King, and I'd appreciate your support. Thank you.
Danny was rear-ended by a semi-truck. Serious injuries.
Mariano's reputation and experience gave him an advantage over the insurance company.
Daniel got paid a lot.
He lives up to his reputation, which is somebody who gets results.
Call 853-2222.
Stacy Lee, KapKView First Alert Weather. Watch tonight. Now, the Morning Sprint.
It's now time for your morning sprint in this 5 o'clock hour.
First up, here are your top 5 local stories. Level 3 evacuations have been ordered for people living near the retreat fire burning near Natchez. According to the Natchez Fire Department, it has grown to at least 1,500 acres. State fire assistance has been mobilized to fight the fire, and the cause is under investigation. At last check, mutual aid units were being released along with some Natchez fire units around 11 p.m. last night. The fire department says they will release an update this morning.
Another fire, the Black Canyon Fire just northwest of Natchez, has burned through 6,500 acres of land. The fire is threatening multiple structures, prompting evacuations for nearby homes. The Red Cross has set up an emergency shelter at the Sela Civic Center, and resources, including helicopters, have come in from across the state.
The water follies start Friday, but some public bike trails will close today in preparation. Trails in Columbia Park in Kennewick will be closed from the Blue Bridge to Edison Street beginning at 6 p.m. tonight through this Sunday at 7 p.m. More closures will follow in the coming days.
The Pasco Public Facilities District Board has approved the funding for an aquatic center in Pasco. In 2022, Pasco residents voted to fund the facility, increasing the sales tax by 0.02%. The PPFD received a validation report during their meeting last night and approved the $37 million aquatics facility.
50 kids who attend the Boys and Girls Clubs of Benton and Franklin counties will be getting free haircuts today. The event is a partnership between the Kennewick Police Department Foundation, Legacy Barbershop, and High Street Insurance Partners. It's happening at 11 a.m. this morning, and it's meant to help youth look and feel good about themselves.
From Apple Valley News Now, First Alert Weather with Chief Meteorologist Josh Colbert.
Well, this morning the radar is clear, but a little bit later today that is not going to be the case. But, you know, not for a lot of us, as there is just a very small chance of a shower or a thunderstorm in the Blue Mountains for today. This is around the peak of daytime heating, 4, 5, 6 p.m. This model is suggesting that the thunderstorms are going to form a little bit to the east of our area, but there are other models that are suggesting that this could more so be in Morrow and Umatilla counties. So we'll see what ends up happening with that. But just know, at the very least, there is the chance of lightning over dry fuels in southern Morrow and also southern and eastern Umatilla County, which is why a red flag warning is in place from noon today to 11 p.m. as there will be that chance for fire starts. Other than that, today is going to be hot, most of us in the 90s, but it's going to be pretty seasonal stuff. We'll have light haze for most spots, but again, the worst of the worst air quality is going to be downwind of some of those fires in Morrow and Umatilla counties. Winds will gust out of the northwest to southwest between 20 to 40 miles per hour, the fastest wind gust being in the Kittitas Valley. For tonight, the wind situation will stay the same. Could have a few lingering thunderstorms in the Blue Mountains. Should be mostly dry at this point, though. Overnight lows dropping down into the 50s and 60s, and we'll actually feel, I'm not going to say we're going to feel fall-like for Thursday, but we'll definitely feel below average for this time of the year, and then we'll have more seasonal values as we head into the weekend. Now, as we're tracking the weather for next week, there is a thunderstorm chance that looks more significant as opposed to today's chance, and our fire fuels are looking pretty dry for next week as well, so we'll track once again the potential for fire starts. Okay, here is the 7-day forecast for the Tri-Cities. We'll be near 100 today, low to mid 80s for Thursday and Friday, and then seasonal for this weekend. For Yakima, nice heat relief for the next couple of days, back into the low 90s by this weekend, and then small thunderstorm chances for Monday and Tuesday. For Hermiston, we'll have a light haze for the next couple days at least, 80s for Thursday and Friday, low to mid 90s for Saturday and beyond. And then finally for Walla Walla, hazy for the next 48 hours, at least 80s for Thursday and beyond. And overall, hopefully the cooler weather in the foothills and the mountains can help out with all of the firefighting efforts.
Thank you, Josh. In your national headlines now, a new acting director of the Secret Service has been named following the resignation of Kimberly Cheadle.
Secret Service Deputy Director Ronald Rowe has been tapped to lead the agency. The Secret Service has faced intense scrutiny over security lapses related to the assassination attempt. Lawmakers and a government watchdog continue to investigate the agency's handling of Trump's protection.
President Joe Biden will deliver a national address on his decision to drop out of the 2024 race this evening. The primetime speech at 5 p.m. comes after he suspended his re-election bid on Sunday.
Biden has endorsed Vice President Kamala Harris to take his place. You can watch the president's address right here on Apple Valley News Now. In consumer news, experts have advice on what to do if you have been caught up in the ongoing Delta meltdown.
Number one is to recognize the situation is ongoing. Delta says operations might not be back to normal until the end of the week. Number two, save receipts. Delta says it'll reimburse hotel, meal, and ground transportation expenses for long delays and cancellations. Number three, contact the Department of Transportation if airlines violate federal rules.
The FTC has ordered 8 companies to reveal how they use consumer data and behavior to offer different prices to different consumers.
The FTC is calling on companies like MasterCard, Revionics, and JP Morgan Chase to show how they allegedly offer surveillance pricing and services that, quote, incorporate data about consumers' characteristics and behavior.
In your health headlines this morning, the U.S. Appropriations Committee has announced $4.6 million in funding for healthcare systems in our state.
Washington Senator Patty Murray made the announcement as the chair of the committee. The funding is part of the Hospital Preparedness Program, which helps local healthcare respond to large-scale emergencies and disasters.
Forever chemicals, or PFAS, are estimated to be in the blood of 98% of Americans. And now researchers are saying they've been found in the everyday foods we eat.
A new study looked at how much of the chemical is in pesticides used in agriculture. Researchers found that apples, corn, kale, spinach, strawberries, and wheat are frequently sprayed with PFAS-containing pesticides. And they say those pesticides are applied to tens of millions of farm fields across the U.S. In sports news now, there are growing concerns about pollution in France ahead of the 2024 Olympic Games.
Marseille Marina, the location for the sailing event, was not swimmable Tuesday because of pollution. Recent heavy rains caused bacterial contamination in the water. Sailing events are set to begin on Sunday, with the first gold medals up for grabs on August 1st. The College Place Public Schools District Board has adopted a resolution last night supporting a ban on biological males from participating in female athletics. According to the board, the move was intended to, quote, uphold the principles of fairness, safety, and competitive opportunities for female athletes.
Expanded Title IX regulations are set to go into effect on August 1st. The Department of Education's stance on athletics and transgender athletes is still under consideration. And check this out now. The U.S. Postal Service has released the Alex Trebek Jeopardy stamp.
Yes, it's the latest honor to celebrate the life and legacy of the beloved game show host.
New stamps are available in a set of 20. They resemble a Jeopardy video game board.
Ooh, and a dedication ceremony was held in California on Monday following the release. The ceremony was held on what would have been Trebek's 84th birthday.
This year marks the 60th anniversary of when Jeopardy first began on TV. Alex Trebek was the host for more than half that time.
He died of pancreatic cancer back in 2020.
Also, NASA is celebrating the 25th anniversary of its Chandra X-ray Observatory with a never-before-seen release. So 25 X-ray images highlight the observatory's silver anniversary in space.
The space shuttle Columbia launched Chandra into orbit in 1999 to help astronomers get answers to some of space's biggest mysteries.
Chandra has explored and brought to light unknown discoveries, including exoplanets and dark energy in space that have surprised astronomers.
Its data continues to be used together with NASA's powerful James Webb Space Telescope and others, recently discovering the furthest black holes ever found.
The set of 25 images is a mere example of the nearly 25,000 Chandra has grabbed since its launch.
And I could look at those forever. Oh my gosh.
Too.
You just get mesmerized.
Such beautiful images.
Oh, amazing.
Makes me feel very small.
Yeah, it does. And coming up next on Good Morning Northwest, at 6, Vice President Kamala Harris has been getting support from pop culture. If you've been confused about what's going on, we've got the breakdown coming up in our 6 o'clock hour.
And it's Wednesday, which means it's Operation Best Friend time. We'll introduce you to Loxley, a potential German Shepherd mix. Plus, Chief Meteorologist Josh Colbreth will have your full forecast and fire coverage. We'll see you back here at 6.